We're here in Legions Park, Miami, Florida. Joining us, we have Cody Patrick, who's the owner of UFit Health and Performance, as well as an incredible multi-sport athlete. We also have Libby Weintraub, who's a nutrition and lifestyle coach, as well as a yoga instructor. They're going to be helping us out for the exercise portion of the Animal Flow workout. Let's get started.
Remember, for more detailed instructions on the forms, you can always reference back to the instructional section. The remainder of the video is divided into a dynamic warm-up section, switches section, traveling forms section, and combos. Check the Animal Flow workout design page for more ideas on how to create your own Animal Flow workouts. Be sure to perform the dynamic warm-up section before your Animal Flow workout. In fact, this warm-up would be excellent before any type of workout. You can follow along with the video for the warm-up or stop the video at any time to practice each step. Feel free to add in more repetitions for each stretching form as necessary. The first stretch is a wrist and hip mobility movement. The animal movements require an incredible amount of time supporting the body with both hands and feet in contact with the ground. You may find that the wrists fatigue before the rest of the body. At any time during the video, feel free to go back to this relief position. The next dynamic stretch is an ape reach. Here we are alternating between a regular ape form and a modified ape position as we pull into extension. This is an excellent warm-up for the hip, spine, chest, and shoulders. When in the lower position, you are in a flexion position with the shoulder protracted and arms internally rotated with thumbs down. In the second part of the movement, we are extending through the spine, retracting the shoulders, and externally rotating the arms, leading the palms up towards the sky. Be sure to synchronize the breathing and exhale as you reach forward, followed by an inhalation as you pull back into the modified ape position. This next stretch is a great movement for opening up the front of the hip and stretching the abdominal wall, as well as the lat of the reaching arm. The idea is to drop the knees down and forward as you simultaneously reach back towards the ground with the hand. Don't actually allow the knees to touch, but come as close as possible while you bend backwards. The next movement in the dynamic warm-up section is a big hip mobilization form. A lot of people have a restriction in either their internal or external hip rotators. The majority of our daily activities place the hip in flexion and extension, but rarely in rotation. This particular dynamic stretch requires a lot of hip rotation. You'll notice that the lower leg is internally rotated, which places the inside of the knee and ankle on the ground, while loading the upper leg with the knee flexed and the heel supporting the glute. As you push the upper knee towards the ground, you'll notice a big stretch in the opposite hip flexor. Be sure to practice this movement on a soft surface or a pad. Once you've perfected the previous movement, you can create the full rotational form. Here you'll notice that we are shifting through the posterior part of the movement as well. Plant the hand, plant the other hand, transfer through, load the opposite leg, and begin the next revolution. Be sure to perform this stretch in both directions. The next dynamic stretch is more specific to our foundational forms. This is a loaded beast stretch. There are multiple advantages to this form. Loading the beast by pushing the hips back towards the heels is a nice low back, glute, and lat stretch, but this is also a movement that will allow us to spring into other switches or forms in our combos. When you push into the front-loaded portion of the movement, we are forward-loading the shoulders, which will condition the anterior shoulder muscles and stabilizers for more advanced moves later. Be sure to keep the moving leg from touching the ground and attempt to push the knee past the supporting elbow. The crab reach is an incredible form for both back and hip extension. Much like the other dynamic stretches, this plays a role as a stretch and mobilization, but also as an activation exercise for the glutes, spinal erectors, and shoulder stabilizers, like the rotator cuff. Be sure to push the hips as high as possible and extend through the spine, looking behind you and towards the ground. The scorpion reach may be one of the biggest stretches for the spinal rotators and the front of the hip. You are performing flexion with rotation as well as extension with rotation, so be sure to limit your range if you feel any pain or discomfort in the back. Just like in the instructional section, be sure to press away from the hands as you push the hips up towards the sky and rotate away from the supporting arm position. Being able to perform this exercise properly will really help later as you move into the combos. You can learn switches and transitions easily, but to perfect them may take some time. I recommend dedicating specific time to practice each one of the switches. The more automatic they become, the more fluid your combos will be. Try making your way through each switch, performing them for 1-minute intervals. It's important to remember to stop the switches if your form begins to break down. Otherwise, you're creating faulty movement patterns. The jumping underswitch is a more advanced version of the regular underswitch. Here we are just skipping the neutral position of the beast while transitioning through. So if we are going to do a right leg underswitch, lift the right foot and left arm, give a slight jump and bring the right leg under. Plant the toe and rotate the body as you bring the left leg through, ending up in a crab position. So the left foot does not touch the ground in between steps. Remember, in the scorpion switches, it is key to allow the weight of the leg to pull the arm off the ground. Be sure not to lift it before. You'll perform an opposite leg underswitch to get back to your starting position. When performing the scorpion switch from crab, try to make the movements as big as possible, driving the scorpion leg up high towards the sky before going into the rotation. Allow the foot to land as softly as possible, then draw it back into your starting position. Just like in the intro section, decide which way you're going to rotate towards. Then lift that foot and the opposing hand and rotate the entire body from there. Don't try to thread the leg underneath. During the side kick through, be sure to keep the kicking leg as close to the ground as possible, with the toe pointed. Try to elongate the body by reaching with the leg and torso away from the supporting arm. Use the force of the leg coming back in order to gain momentum into the next kick through. When performing the front kick through, think about the foot of the non-kicking leg replacing the same hand of that side. So if we're going to kick through with the right leg, focus on jumping forward and replacing the left hand with the left foot, but landing slightly in front of where the hand was. It's key to keep the abdominal wall tight and tucking the legs in when you spring out of the loaded beast position. The traveling forms are where the animals truly come to life. You may be surprised at how tiring these drills become. Try switching up your speeds. Try going further distances with a slower tempo, or shorter distances as fast as you can while maintaining perfect form. Try performing all of the traveling forms together in a single set. Just be sure to practice both forward and backward movements. These traveling forms are also great for team or group conditioning. The side traveling ape is a move that has lots of opportunity for speed. Just remember to tilt your weight forward and press into the ground while raising the hips. Kick out the leg that you are traveling towards. Plant the foot, then transfer through. Be sure to practice the traveling side ape in both directions. Next we have the traveling beast forms. Remember that you're moving with opposing limbs, so the right arm moves forward, then the left leg simultaneously moves with it. The reverse version is exactly the same, just be sure to keep the strides equal, otherwise your feet may end up too far behind the body. Keep the trunk tight throughout the movement and allow the knees to stay a couple inches from the ground. The traveling crab is very similar to the beast. Be sure to move with opposing limbs and keep the strides equal between the legs and arms. The hips should be a couple inches above the ground with shoulder blades pulled together and arms externally rotated, which means the fingers will be pointing away from the body. You can also perform the switches as travels for an added challenge. The traveling side kick-throughs are unbelievably difficult when performed correctly. The basic cues are the same as with the stationary kick-through, but reaching forward with the hand now gives the switch a traveling motion. Try reaching forward with each rep as you get more comfortable with the movement. The traveling side and front kick-throughs take it to the next level. Here we are performing a traveling side kick-through to both sides, followed by a few steps in the beast form, followed by a front kick-through on each side. You can decide how many steps you want to take between each switch. Remember the goal is consistent movement, so be sure not to pause between switches. Start with your side kick through on each side. Then after you've taken a few beast steps, go into the front kick through. Come back into a loaded beast position, and then kick through with the alternate leg. Pull the leg back explosively and land in another loaded beast. Come out of the loaded beast back into a forward walking beast and get set up for your next side kick through. The box drills are a perfect way to move from one form into another, while practicing your change of direction. One way to perform this exercise is to pick two forms, then alternate between the two with both forward and reverse versions. In order to perform a box drill, set up 4 markers in a square. You can make the box as big or small as you'd like. At each corner, you'll change the form. In this box drill, we chose a crab and side ape. Feel free to choose whichever forms you would like when performing the box drills. Box drills offer a great opportunity for multiple people to practice together. You can make the box bigger if you have more people. Try to get everyone to synchronize their speeds or make it a race for some friendly competition. Note that you don't even need cones. We used orange peels for the box in this shot. This box drill incorporates beast and forward ape. We start with a forward moving beast, followed by a forward ape, then back to a reverse beast, and finishing up with a reverse traveling ape. The cross drills allow you to practice all directions of a single form. Set up 4 markers in the shape of a cross or an X. We'll be tracing the form of an X with our movements. You'll start off moving forward in a straight line from one marker, the one directly across, then reverse back to your starting position. From here, move forward again until you reach midway point. Then move sideways, staying in your form until you reach the outer marker. Then change direction and move sideways all the way across the opposite marker. Notice how when we move laterally in the beast or crab, we use an open-close movement. So when the hands close, the legs open, and vice versa. For the pyramid drill, we are going to be tracing the shape of this pyramid. We will be using beasts, crabs, and traveling apes. Note that when we are creating the pyramid, we'll be using all left underswitches on the way down and right underswitches on the way back up. Start the pyramid with a forward walking crab. Left foot underswitch. Left leg underswitch back to crab. Left leg underswitch to beast. Left leg underswitch back to crab. Transition to your forward ape at the base of the pyramid. Now begin your right leg switches. Right leg underswitch to reverse beast. Right leg underswitch to reverse crab. Right leg underswitch back to reverse beast. And finally, right leg underswitch to reverse crab. Now transition into a side traveling ape and finish your pyramid. In Combo 1, we are combining an underswitch with a crab reach from our dynamic stretch section. First, let's watch one complete sequence, then we'll break it down. Starting in a crab position, we're going to perform 2 underswitches. Left underswitch, stopping in beast briefly, then right underswitch back to crab. Go right into a crab reach, return to crab form, then back into crab reach with the opposite arm. Next, you'll perform the same sequence but to the opposite side. So you'll start with a right underswitch, followed by a left underswitch, back into crab, followed by the crab reach with both arms again. Left leg underswitch, right leg underswitch, crab reach, crab reach, followed by right leg underswitch, left leg underswitch, crab reach, and crab reach. In combo 2, we are beginning to link our switches together to form combos. In this combo, we are using scorpion switches, underswitches, and front kick-throughs. Try to perform this in an alternating leg sequence, using a right-left pattern. From crab, start with a right leg scorpion switch to a left leg underswitch. From here, go into a loaded beast and spring into a right leg front kick-through, followed by a left leg underswitch. Now perform the entire combo to the opposite direction. So start with a left leg scorpion. Be sure to spring into your front kick through, replacing the right hand with the right foot as you kick the left leg through. Right leg scorpion, left leg underswitch, right leg kick through, left leg underswitch, left leg scorpion, right leg underswitch, left leg kick through, right leg underswitch. This combo is a bit more intense because we're using more jumping or plyometric movements. We have side kick throughs, jumping underswitches, and front kick throughs. So starting in a beast position, begin with a right leg side kick through, jumping into a left leg kick through. Pull the leg back, moving straight into a jumping underswitch, to opposite leg underswitch. From here, you push back into a loaded beast and spring into a front kick through, then alternate legs. Side kick through, jumping underswitch, underswitch, front kick through, front kick through. Side kick through, jumping underswitch, underswitch, front kick through, back to start. Combo number 4, also known as a corkscrew, puts together side kick throughs with jumping underswitches for this big rotational move. Starting in a crab position, begin with a jumping underswitch straight into a kick through. Pull the kicking leg back explosively using the momentum to move right into another jumping underswitch, bringing you back to your starting position. Now perform the same to the opposite side. This movement can be difficult to learn, but the key is to get the hips high in the jumping underswitch phase. This will allow you to use the momentum of the legs to carry you through the movement. Jump, kick through, jump. Jump, kick through, jump. Jump, kick through, jump. Jump, kick through, jump. In combo 5, we are just adding a scorpion switch to our corkscrew. Starting in a crab position, we're jumping into our underswitch, right into a kick through, pulling the kicking leg back into a jumping underswitch, returning to your starting position. Then continue with the motion into a scorpion switch from crab. Once you land back in crab, perform the exercise to the opposite side. Jump, kick through, jump, scorpion switch. Jump, kick through, jump, scorpion switch. Jump, kick through, jump, into scorpion switch. Jump, kick through, jump, back into scorpion switch. In combo 6, we're actually putting all of our switches together to create this flow. Starting in a crab position, we're going to perform a jumping under switch into a side kick through, followed by a side kick through to the opposite side, into another jumping under switch. Be sure not to pause here, but use the momentum to go right into a scorpion switch. Then redirect your momentum into an opposite scorpion switch. Next, go into a regular under switch into a loaded beast position. From here, spring into your alternating front kick throughs, finally ending with an under switch back to your starting position. Jumping under switch, side kick through, jumping under switch, scorpion switch, opposite scorpion switch, under switch, loaded beast, front kick through, alternate front kick through.
I hope you enjoyed the Animal Flow workout. Remember, there are no right or wrong ways to put together these exercises. The most important thing is that you allow yourself to be creative and have fun. Keep checking back to globalbodyweighttraining.com for more tips and info, and we'll see you soon.